Dear Rentals Club members, thank you for joining us for this new session. I'm now with Natacha Parmentier. Natacha has something which is a great quality because she's French. I think you are, as I
Yes.
am. So jokes aside, this will enable us to talk a bit more about the French market, which obviously is a big vacation rental market. But Natasha actually is also a world traveler, and she lived in different countries, and now she's actually a resident of Spain. So we'll be talking about both countries' situation. And what Natasha brings to the table as well is her consulting skills, in the sense that she's not only an owner, but also she's been a consultant for several years for local property managers like you. And from the get-go, she had gotten people to focus on getting direct bookings, mainly through their own website, but also through social media, meaning with let's say, smart use of social media in a way that, again, generates direct booking, but also direct bookings, but also it's not about spending money anywhere, but everywhere, but really linking back to foolproof strategies. So we'll go through examples of what Natasha usually does, but also what she's seeing right now, right? She's seen a growth into people being interested and reach out to her and to her Facebook group, for example. She got a free group where people can reach. And she walk us through three concrete examples of local property managers taking action right now, even though there might not be demand, but taking action right now to be ready for the rebound. So without further ado, Natasha, welcome. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Thibaut. Thank you very much for this introduction. It was perfect. And I'm very fine. Thank you. I mean, friends with a nice house with garden, so it could be worse for the lockdown.
So as I said, you French, but usually you live in Spain, and we chatted a bit before recording this. And just like a lot of people in industry, we are usually avid travelers, and you got caught by the coronavirus. Do you mind sharing a bit about your own story?
Okay, yes. So I spent 3 months in Brazil for the winter because we always escape for the winter, which is too cold for us in Spain. Maybe for French people, you will not agree that Spain is cold in winter, but for us, it's cold. So we escaped for 3 months in Brazil. Then I arrived in France to my parents so that my daughter can spend some time with her family for 2 weeks. And the day I was supposed to go back to Spain was the day they started the lockdown in Spain and in fact in France as well, which was very close in date. And the rules are very strict in Spain. You cannot go out, kids cannot go out by any means. And I know my daughter, I know myself as well, I didn't want to turn crazy. So I decided to stay at my parents' place who have a garden so that we can enjoy a bit more and I'm not also alone in this time, which is very helpful. So yeah, that's how it was for me.
And I guess in terms of lockdown, so you, of course, you know the French market, the Spanish market, so you can share a bit about this, but it's also you are, because of your network, because of the clients you're helping throughout the world, you're able to see how varied the situation is. So can you share a bit more about the different markets that you know about?
Yes, it's very interesting to see, in fact, the different type of lockdown or how the virus has affected different countries. For instance, in some countries, like some part of Italy, the UK, Spain, and different countries in the US, you cannot host. It's illegal to host there except for key workers, but a lot of my clients have rural properties, so a key worker will not really need to be next to like have a big villa next to a river. You will need to be more close to a hospital. So for those people, they are really concentrating more on the after. When this is over, what can we do now so that when it's over, you can start again full speed and not just wait and rest for months. um, during this lockdown. And then you have a lot of people, and it's mostly in the US, to be honest. I see a lot of people who are still hosting because the situation in the US is very different. We will not go into political, but we see the reaction of the president is very different. So people are not taking this, are not seeing the crisis the same way as some of us are seeing in Europe. So they are still hosting, but they are of course taking a lot of measures, safety measures for health, but still hosting. And but I think for the places where you can still host, I see a trend right now. It's to take at least medium or longer term bookings to be sure not like to be able to pay the mortgages and things like this, and to stay in business. So, and because there is a demand, we were talking about it with Thibaut before the interview, the fact that digital nomads, well, we can choose where we want to live, so we are okay not to move that much, but if we can be in a nice place at the same time, that's why we tend to see a lot more medium 1 month or a few months bookings right now. So I think that's the situation, depending on what your country is allowing you to do or not.
Exactly. So it's very fair description of travel bans in some areas, and still some demand or some. It is very complicated situation, right? There's bans in some areas, but still it's mostly, as you said, it's vacation stays that banned,
Yeah.
and actually it's very sometimes hard to understand whether can you host a business traveler, for example, right? We talked about medical staff, right, key workers, but how about business travelers? Where it's not clear that, for example, a consultant coming for 2 months to help a company restart the business or factory restart, can you host them if there's a ban? It's not super clear, so it's also very hard to navigate in a lot of cases. And
Yeah.
so usually you help, as I said in the introduction, you help local property managers have more direct bookings.
Mhm.
Again, um, the key strategy. So can you maybe and I think we talked about this earlier, but what would be you see more people coming to you right now. So if you thought, okay, um, if there's a priority now, what should people be focusing on, and what should they care about social media? I mean, it's not about word. I mean, obviously, Rentalscape has its own Facebook group, so I completely see the value. But again, let's put ourselves for a minute in the shoes of a local property manager. And it's like,
Mhm.
wow, I mean, I just had to refund a lot of money, and there's no demand right now. Why should I care about social media?
Mhm. Well, the thing is, why you had to, for a lot of people, what I'm in a lot of Facebook group for people who are on Airbnb, hosting on Airbnb, booking, and the other OTAs. They had no control of the refunds, the cancellation. We see a lot of big companies, what they are doing. And in fact, what Airbnb did for booking, I don't know that much. You can maybe say, is the fact that instead of just refunding the guest, they kept the money and gave a coupon to use later on for the guest. But for instance, you had your place booked on Airbnb, and the guest has a coupon. He can use it for later, he can use this money for later. But who says that this guest will choose again your property later on? No one. He can choose whatever property in even maybe not even the same location to spend the money that he has on the coupon.
So,
If
so, so I jump in, sorry, but it's a very good example. So let's imagine again, right? So I booked your place in Spain
Mhm,
on a platform like Airbnb, for example, here. So let's say I spent 100 euros per night there.
mhm,
So you had 300 euros coming because
mhm,
I will be checking in a few days from now. So
mhm,
so with it, if I understand correctly, your good explanation is that now Airbnb will not be giving you the money because I will not be checking in, but my money as a guest, my money is held onto by Airbnb, and they kindly offering me a travel voucher. So I'm not getting my cash back. I'm getting a voucher. And for you, the host, it means also that it's a voucher for Airbnb, right? It's not a voucher for you, Natasha. So I, I might not be rebooking Natasha's property. So in a way, the cash is sitting with Airbnb. You were promised some revenues that will not be coming, and your guests might not rebook with you. So that's very interesting. Very good depiction of the story. So what? So how did people were property managers surprised about that, or they didn't see it coming? What did you think?
Yes, there was a big scandal, let's say, and in fact, this caused the fact that he probably, yeah, it's not sure, but I'm pretty sure from a strategist point of view that that's why after a while, Airbnb CEOs decided to change a bit what they were doing regarding cancellations, and because there was a big scandal, hosts were not happy with this. They were just seeing all their money refunding, even though they had strict cancellation policies, and it was not for everyone, not for the countries where there was the coronavirus travel ban already. It was for everywhere, and people were really, yeah, they were not very pleased with this. So that's why when you think, okay, what if I was really in control of those cancellations? There you can decide, and you can really how to say, treat this thing one-to-one with the guest. So here you can have a direct customer service, which is from you, not from the Airbnb site or any other OTAs. This is from you. You can contact the guests and say, okay, what could we do so that it works for both of us? It's a mutual agreement, and there is no middleman. That's the problem when you think, okay, yeah, it's fine. And I don't say, like, I really repeat, and one of my clients asked me, okay, I told me I don't want to be on Airbnb anymore. I said, no, this is not what we are talking about here. Being on Airbnb, Booking.com, HomeAway, VRBO, depending on where you are, is a must. This is a must. You have to be there, but you have to use them as marketing channels. All of the people will check Airbnb, Booking, first because they trust them, second because they are used to use them. But afterwards, if you have put all the marketing strategy in place, and the first one is to have the same name on the listing on those OTAs and on your website and your social media, then they will look for you on Google. I mean, everyone wants to save the fees. They are not stupid. They will go check you on Airbnb, and if they see that you have a direct name, they see, okay, this is called this name, I will look for it on Google, and they can book direct on Google on your website directly. So, but
Interesting. So that's the, I would say, the general philosophy of direct booking using these channels for that. So so right now what's making it so they were not in control, even more so it was like, wow, a big warning call. So what are the three things in terms of priorities, where to start? Like, okay, Natasha, I'm going to follow your advice. How do I get started? What are the priorities here?
Okay, so the first thing to start with is what I advise a lot of people, is to start with your own website. Your own website, either you can do it yourself, either you have someone to do it for you, either you take one of the platforms which are like all-in-one, already done for vacation rentals, like Smoobu, Logify, and the others that you have on a raise, to just mention a few. I have a few lists on my blog if you want. So either you do this, or you take someone to have it done for you. This is the first step, to have your own website and to have payment taken on the website. Be sure to have an insurance, but it's even like, I mean, even with Airbnb or the other, you should have an insurance, not just count on someone else's insurance. So this is the first thing. The second one, to have your listing on Google My Business. so that you appear on Google Maps. Because once again, what are people used to do? Google Maps is a big thing. They will always look. They will check their holidays. They will write the name, and you want to have your little point there on this map. A lot of people don't have it, and it's a big, like, they are leaving money on the table not doing this. So this is what you really want. And so that's the second point, and then it redirect to your website. And the third point is to be present on social media, Facebook, Instagram, if you have a blog on your website, Pinterest, because it's very good to get bookings, to get traffic and then bookings using Pinterest. And in Facebook, it's good to have your own page. And of course, it has to be mentioned on your personal profile publicly so that people, when they check it, they see, they can go to your business page, go to your website directly from your public personal profile. And then for long-term strategy, I really advise people to have their own Facebook groups so that they can be really seen as the experts in their area for traveling or for business traveling, depending on who they are targeting.
So it's a very complete list. And again, as we said at the beginning, we'll also give 3 concrete examples of this. For example, the Facebook group, which you're like, what? But you're going to give very interesting example here. But so if I recap as well, it's like the first one, have your own website. And I really like the point you made. It's not just a page, it's transactional, right? People should be able to see a calendar, should be able to book.
Exactly.
And as you said, so either you have, for example, a channel manager like Logify, I think you mentioned Smoogo as well, that have ready-made templates to have your own website, or even other channel managers that you may be using. Maybe sometimes have some kind of widgets, some pieces of code, just copy paste into your standard site and make it transactional in a way. So it's not too hard, but again, there's people who can also help. I really liked what you said, number 2, which is Google My Business, the directory that we're all using. And more actually, when you search for property names, you see this popping up right into the results with reviews themselves, right?
Yes,
So
exactly.
it's very, I really like, it's very good advice. And third is social media to boost your presence. And I really like also how you linked all this to the billboard effect, right? The billboard effect is what you alluded to for your own property name, right? It's like Airbnb or Booking.com or Verbo it's very important to put the same property name over and over again.
Exactly.
Also because it's consistent, also because people will be looking for it. Was this whole billboard effect that hotels have been using for 20 years, for example. But I really also like you went one level up to say that the billboard effect could be under your own name, on your own name, right? People maybe Googling you as well as maybe the owner of the property. So stumble on your Facebook page, and then on your own personal Facebook page, if I got it correctly, link also to your website.
Yes, exactly. It has to be.
Facebook page.
It has to be. Yes, because people, and it has to be public because we are all curious. We are all in different Facebook groups. We are commenting, and this is for any business. I'm talking about vacation rental, but any business in general. If you don't make this information public, if also you don't use your cover picture, which is what people see when just put their mouse on your name, when they're on Facebook, they just put their mouse on your name, they will see the cover picture. If you don't mention your picture, your business there, you're leaving money on the table. You have to give people what you want to be their action, their next step. You have to give it there so that it's public. It's nice to have the last picture of your last holidays, but it's better if you want to get more business, to have it directed to somewhere where you want to take people.
That's pretty smart advice. So speaking of there's smart advice and there's actual implementations, right? People actually taking action, which is, I think, you have a free Facebook group where people can join. And again, we put all the links. We talk about your blog and this Facebook group, put all the links under the video to help people find out about this. You help people take action. And can you share maybe the example of 3 local property managers, right? Like the people watching, or like us actually. What are they doing right now to prepare for the crisis, or to face the crisis and prepare for a rebound?
Mhm. So the first example is one of my clients who is in South Africa, and luckily we just had a call right before her country, South Africa, went into lockdown. And I had a call just a few days before with other clients who were already in countries where we had the lockdowns. We were sharing information on how it was with lockdown, without lockdown. And she was telling me, but do you really think that some people will book my place for lockdown? So I was giving her some information. I was telling her, yes, I'm sure that your place can be booked. You have sea view, you have a big balcony, your place is nice, you can fill the fridge with a lot of food, and it will be an additional service for people who would be on lockdown. So that's exactly what she did. After our call, I saw she already had a presence, and she already has her website that we had worked on. She already had social media, active Facebook page, a Facebook group. And when after our call, I saw that she posted on her Facebook page a picture saying, "Great offer if you want to be like on lockdown but with sea view, etc. And send me a WhatsApp if you're interested." And after just a few days, I was doing a live in my Facebook group,
Uh-huh.
and she was there on the live, and she shared, yes, I have someone, the two properties are booked for lockdown. They are going to stay 2 weeks or extend if the lockdown is extended. And I was super happy during the live, sharing with all of the other people that she had some people who booked her place, even on lockdown, so it's possible. So that's the first case.
And,
She
and as
Hmm?
and as we said as well at the beginning, obviously there are places where it's not legal to host vacation guests. Maybe it could be legal to host actually local people. It can be legal to host business travelers. It can be legal as well to host people I know who have kids at home and looking for a quiet place where to work from. So there are even right now cases. There are bans, but there's cases where this can be still applied. So it's very, very interesting to leverage existing social media presence to advertise this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I think it's always the first thing you have to do is always to use the presence that you already have. I mean, even though you may not have a Facebook page for your place, you already have a network. You already have people who follow you on LinkedIn, who follow you on Facebook, on your personal page. And not they are your network plus they know people. So if you share something, you don't have to do it all the time on your personal page. On Facebook doesn't like this so much, but you can do it. Use this network and then create your business page afterwards. But you can always we all have a network, so use the network. It's always the easiest thing to use your network. They know you, or they will be friend of your friends, so it will be easy that way. So that was the first example. The second one was in a country where it's in Italy, where they are on lockdown. They were one of the first country after China, of course, to be on lockdown. And this was a totally different case. They could not host, and even they have like different suites, but it's where they are living as well. They have kids, so you also you have to be sure about health security, even though they could host, but we were talking like, do you really want to host right now? You have to think about the consequences. And so we are working on their after situation, after crisis, and we are working because they want to target a very specific type of people, and we are working with them to create a Facebook group so that they can attract this group of people, even though they cannot host them right now. They can start creating their authority, creating their expertise on the area for those type of people, so that okay, after the crisis, they will be okay. They will have already all this authority, all this network that they can share their property with.
And you can, I know what topic you're talking about. Maybe it's a bit delicate for the client to reveal what it is, so we're not
Yes.
going to this. But what I can say, when I heard um, what this Facebook group is about, maybe what you can just say, it's about, helping some type of people find the right destinations and the right rentals maybe for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's niche. It's
Mm-hmm.
very interesting. Like, wow, that's very smart. So I think, again, for for the sake of this client, let's not reveal the exact group or the niche being here. But it's like, wow, I think it's was very interesting also to think that, yeah, these people will be traveling, will be happening, and it's also across several destinations, which is very, very smart, because lockdowns maybe lift up at different times, different countries. We can't
Exactly.
anticipate, but you can anticipate that over one continent, hopefully people will be moving
Mm-hmm.
this summer. Yeah, super
Yeah,
interesting.
you have to think very like niche. As I said, for my client, I prefer not to say this niche, but any niche, you have to stand out. You have to. Right now, it was the case before the crisis. We will see how it goes after the crisis, because in fact, some people were hosting before are losing a lot right now, and some people who were not like kind of, if I can say, strong enough, will disappear. But some are taking this time also to think, okay, maybe I can do something with the properties that I had and I was not using until now. So it will be a completely new market after this, and there will be, like always, competition. If you really want to stand out, you have to find ways to stand out, and that's what we are doing with this customer. We are really making sure that after this, yeah, there will be top destination.
Super interesting. And also, you even have another, I think, a third example as well, which is also the back to basics, or the priorities we listed earlier, which is about uh, either creating your own website or actually improving your own website.
Yes. So those are clients who are in the US, and either they cannot host again for health reasons, or they cannot host because it's illegal there. A lot of my clients are in rural areas. You don't host that much at that time. And what I want to say, yes, so they had already their presence. They already have a website, and they are thinking right now, okay, what can I do so that afterwards I can have people coming to my place? So we are working on their website optimization with the keywords. For people who don't know, like search engine optimization, you really have to target the right keywords, not keywords which is super wide, something which is specific for your niche, so that, okay, you create content which is directly directed for those people, and so that, because on Google you will not appear on page one from day one. It takes a bit of time. So if you work right now, so that after this crisis you can be better and better, that's what we are doing with those customers, so that they know, okay, which keywords they want to target, which content they will create for this, and once they have the content created for their website, how to use this content on Facebook, on their social media pages, how to share it to get the traffic, so that after they can either do ads if they want to retarget those people who were interested before, or also basically to climb up the ranking on Google thanks to traffic.
Very interesting. Site first and expanding and going maybe into a paid ads with the right guidance. uh, so
Exactly.
thanks so much, Natasha, because we've really been able to go through, talking about, as usual, which I like in this kind of videos, talking about the personal situations, what's lockdown like, and the fact that you are sort of stuck in France right now, but in a good place with your own parents, and I think your daughter has a garden, so that's not it's not the worst conditions, which is good to know, and that you're still taking this time to work on your business and help property managers either improve what they have or get started on the right path. So if people watching this want to get a hold of you, I will, of course, as I said, put a link to your website, to your Facebook group, and what's the best way to contact you, really?
Well, the best way to contact me is either to send an email that you can find on the contact information, or I can send you the email so that you can put it as well, or directly. Basically, when you go on my website, you have the chat box, chatbot at the bottom right, which I advise every person who has the website to have, because it's very important. And you can just chat with me there, and I will start the competition with you.
Sounds good. Perfect. Natacha, again, thanks a lot. Merci for your time. And I hope to see you in person very soon.
Yeah, me too. Thanks.
Take
Thank
care.
you very much. Bye bye.